Oh, Jess, you're looking wonderful. How are you? Great to
Fantastic.
see
So
you again. You
excited
did
to be here. What's up, Janess?
Your masterclass was terrific. It was 2 days ago now, and I hope everyone caught it. But if they didn't, I gave you a really big introduction at the masterclass. So if I could just let everyone know a bit of your background. You represent all of our regions so well, but particularly what you do is what we need right now. You began, you actually went to law school in Australia. You graduated from law school, but somehow you ended up in the direct selling industry. You became a distributor in the Asia Pacific. You became a top distributor, built one of the biggest teams. From there, you were headhunted into the corporate role, right? And you worked corporate MLM for a number of years. And from then, you've taken another step to now being what you run your own agency, correct? From where? Where's your agency?
Correct. Absolutely correct. So I'm physically based in Bali, but the agency is registered in Singapore, but we have a global team.
So that you're living my dream. If I could work virtually from Bali, it is my dream. But what is interesting and what is so powerful, Jess, is you have done this remotely. You've been as locked down as I've been in Malaysia for 1.5 years now, that you specialize, your agency specializes in teaching people largely how to recruit, how to train, how to build using technology, social media, LinkedIn, all of that. And that is the message we need right now. So Jess, this hour is yours. We know that usually your agency, you charge clients around $30,000 each for the type of training you're going to be sharing with us next. First, can you just give us a quick overview of what we can expect for the next hour so that we can prepare? Just give us a summary of your training for the next hour.
Sure. Chris, I'm going to take you guys literally on behind the screens, my personal and professional journey of some of the challenges and tribulations that I face, not just personally, but professionally in the business, and how, believe it or not, COVID became a blessing in disguise for me and my business. And I want to share and impart on you some of those lessons, how I overcame those challenges, so you guys can do the same in your Janess business.
Well, perfect. Thank you, Jess. We're looking forward to it. Before I hand the stage to you, I'm letting everyone know that at the end, if we have some time, we're going to put Jess on the spot and give her some questions from our audience. So if you have any question that you would like to ask Jess from her training, type it in the comments section. I will be picking up those questions, and at the end, I'll ask a few of those to Jess. But please also add your name and your country so I can give you the shout out. And now it is my pleasure to present to you our Expo Ignite keynote speaker, Jess Hartono. Take it away, Jess.
Thanks, Chris. So, you know, guys, the flyer said to you that I would be sharing with you how, in the height of COVID, I was able to transform my business to launching 6 figures in 5 weeks, to now running a global team of over 17 team members across 10 different time zones. But here's the thing. What the flyer didn't actually explain was some of the challenges and the tribulations that I experienced along the way, some personal heartaches, and some of the biggest life lessons that I had to overcome in order to get here. Now, what I'm going to share with you today is that none of this would have all been possible had it not have been for one thing, one choice that I made 15 years ago. And had I not have made that choice, I would not be standing in front of you here today, or even have the future the life that I have right now. I wanted to share this with you because I know that there's a lot of you guys out there that are also struggling. No one could have predicted COVID. There was no manual. We didn't receive a warning that this is going to happen. And whilst this is an awesome, exciting event, I know some of you guys are going through some tough times. So I want to say to you that it doesn't matter what it has taken for you to get here right now, or how you might be feeling deep down on the inside. I want to leave you at the end of this conversation with the inspiration and the ability to also change any area of your life if you too just do this one thing. And this one thing is exercising your right and your power and your ability to always choose. So guys, before we get started, let me answer for you the $1 million question that I always get asked. And it's about my ethnicity. Where do I come from? Or more specifically, I think what people want to ask, but are probably a little bit too polite to, is that how is it that somebody with a very common Indonesian surname with a Chinese face has such a thick, heavy Australian accent? So let me answer that to you. Cannot speak Chinese and speak Bahasa pretty poorly. So my background is actually Chinese Indonesian. I was actually born not far from here in Jakarta. So it is crazy to be here back in the mothership with you all. I was born in a small remote village in Garut. I migrated to Australia when I was 2 years old. So I can hardly read or write. I know it's a little bit embarrassing. In Australia, I'm what they call a banana, yellow on the outside and white on the inside. So guys, my story starts here. This is a picture of me when I was a baby. I know, I was pretty cute, right? And like a lot of first generation Asian parents, my parents had me when they were very young. My dad had me when he was 19. So I don't know what he was doing at school. He didn't really finish his education because he was busy dating. So consequently, I was born. In 1986, he migrated to Australia and brought me along. My dad came to Australia as a poor, uneducated immigrant, but he wanted a better life for us. So growing up, I grew up in a city in Australia called Brisbane. We lived on the south side where predominantly a lot of the Asians lived. We were poor growing up. I remember that we changed schools a lot, and I really struggled to fit in. I was bullied a lot in school. And I remember one time on my way to school with my parents in the car, I was crying. I did not want to go to school. You know, I was telling my mum, the kids are picking on me, the kids are bullying me. And my mum said to me, you know what, if you want, we can take you out of that school, we can put you in another school, but we have just paid for your school uniform. And deep down I said, Mum, you know what? No, it's fine. Because I knew that my parents couldn't actually afford it. My dad worked really hard. There were some mornings he would get up at 5, go to work at 6, to come back home and have dinner at 6 o'clock just to go back out to work again. In Australia, my dad worked as a builder and a contractor. This is a picture of the car he used to drive. It was a beat-up, white, rusted panel van, and he'd carry his tools in it. I remember this car specifically because when I was 17 and learning how to drive, I accidentally crashed it. I know. It was not my most greatest Asian driving moment, but the good news is I have learned how to drive since, especially being in Southeast Asia. Now, working as a builder, working as a contractor, I remember as a child, my dad had won a cleaning contract, a maintenance cleaning contract for a shopping center that looked very similar to this one. Now, the thing is, when you clean a shopping center, you can only do so outside of business hours. You can't actually do so when there's cars about and there's customers about. Being a family-owned business, we had no choice but to help out. So between myself, my mum, my dad, and my brother and I, it was up to my dad and my brother to clean the grounds, pick up rubbish. It was between my mum and I to help clean up and polish up the toilets. Now, I used to hate this job, guys. I really hated doing this. I remember the reason why I used to hate it is because at 4 a.m., the alarm would go off before school. Beep, beep, beep. Oh my God, to this day, I hate the sound that that alarm makes. Even when I hear it on someone else's phone, it almost gives me trauma. It would just take me right back to those early mornings where I would get up, I would feel so tired, so underslept, so resentful. Deep down, I'd be like, why can't I just wake up at a normal time? Why can't I just go to school and be a normal kid and fit in? But you know, I never said anything. I couldn't, because as the oldest child in an Asian family, it was my responsibility and my duty to help my family and to help my parents. On top of that, being the oldest, I had a younger brother. Couldn't say anything because I had to set a good example for him. And I'm sure a lot of you guys relate to that as well. Now I remember one morning that we were meant to go to clean the shopping center. The alarm went off at 4 a.m. Beep, beep, beep. Ugh, turn that off, as usual. I woke up feeling tired and resentful, as usual. But this time, something was different. Something was off. I had a heavy feeling in the pit of my stomach. I knew it. I could feel it in my bones. I remember that morning so clearly. I felt off the whole morning. We were driving on the way to the shopping center. It wasn't until we pulled in to the shopping center, I remember that it was still dark outside. As we got out of the car, we started to proceed up the walkway, up the garden path. It wasn't until the toilets came into view that bang, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Oh my God, there was this wet, awful, putrid smell. It was like I was walking into some kind of force field. Ugh, I could taste it. It was gross. It did not take long until we worked out what that smell was. As we entered the toilets, we saw all up on the toilet walls, someone had graffitied obscenities all on the walls. There was toilet paper everywhere, thrown everywhere. And there was feces. Someone had defecated and smeared feces up and down the toilet wall, across the floor. They had smushed it in the toilet seats. Oh my God. Like, I was shocked. Who would literally want to do that? Guys, and I know you're like watching this going, ew, that's like gross. Seriously? I haven't even begun to get into it and tell you what's gross. Do you know what happens to feces that have actually been dried and left there overnight? No, you don't, and that is a good thing. I unfortunately do. Let me tell you what happens. It loses its moisture, it dries, and it solidifies, and then it sticks to whatever surface like concrete. Oh my God, I had never seen anything so gross in my whole entire life. I remembered how I felt. I was so mad. I was so angry. I was like, how could somebody want to do this? Who would literally want to pick up their waste and redecorate a public toilet? And on the other hand, I was angry. I was annoyed. I was resentful and angry at my parents. Angry that I have to do this. This isn't even my job. Why do I have to do this? And angry at my parents. If they had locked up the toilet last night, none of this would have happened. It was at that moment I had to make a choice. Do I kick up a fuss and tell them that I don't want to do this? This isn't my job. Or do I make a different choice? And at that time, I made a different choice. So I put on my gloves. I was covering my face in my shirt. I rolled my sleeves up. I got down on my hands and knees, and I began to scrub. It was at that moment that I chose to be humble. Now, I just want to share with you guys, I've never actually told this story to like anyone. I don't think my business partner even knows this. I don't think my closest friends even know this. I remember when I was actually putting together this keynote and writing this, and I was sharing this with my coach, I was like, oh snap, am I seriously going to just admit to a bunch of beautiful, professional Jeunesse business builders that I used to scrub poop? And you know what he said to me? He goes, well, they're not going to forget you anytime soon, and they're going to remember you, but the most important thing is that it's not about you. And that's right, because my ego would so not have wanted to tell you that story. I wanted to come up here and only tell you stories of my awesomeness and greatness. And don't worry, there are stories of my awesomeness and greatness to come. But I wanted to share this with you guys today because I know that there are some of you out there, you guys aren't in the perfect life right now. Maybe you too are in a job that you're not proud of. Maybe you too are in a job that you hate. Maybe you're working several jobs just to get by and then trying to hustle and build your business on the side. If that's you, then I want to say, I get you. I see you. And I'm talking to you because I was you. And it was thanks to my dad who showed me every single day as a kid what it meant to choose to be humble, to get up and to do work that he hated no matter what. Because he had a dream. He wanted a better life for me and for our family. So if that's you, that's the first lesson, guys, that I learned in my life and my business. It doesn't matter. You might not be able to choose your circumstances right now. You might not be able to choose what is happening around you with the global pandemic. You might not be able to choose the line of work that you are in right now until you can get to that pinnacle that you want to be in. And the road to being successful is full of non-glamorous jobs. But in those times, you always have a choice. And the first lesson I learned, thanks to my dad, is to choose to be humble no matter what. So guys, this here is a picture of David, my business partner. David and I had actually been working together for about 4 years in my previous agency, pre-COVID. He was actually freelancing for me. As of about December 2019, we decided to partner to create our current agency. David was proficient in back-end agency stuff. I was proficient in front-end sales and strategy. So we decided to partner and come together and to pull together our 3 verticals, from doing B2B, lead generation, Facebook ads, as well as back-end sales automation, which is David's proficiency. However, we had a little bit of a problem. You see, myself being based in Bali in Indonesia, David was actually based in Vancouver. This here is a picture of a map. To give you an idea, Bali to Vancouver, Canada, was about 12,973 kilometers apart. We also had a 15-hour time difference between the two of us. So that's kind of tough. Working together as a freelancer is different to coming together to form an agency and to actually partner. Now, we thought, okay, you know what? Why don't we pulled some money together and we had a trip planned for David to come and visit me, have a bit of a holiday in Bali where we were going to sign up, sign our contracts, establish our business, and then partner and get together. However, about 5 days before he was meant to get on a plane, he was visiting his cousin in Toronto. He was on a bus. On that particular bus, there was an outbreak of COVID, and this is way before anyone really knew what COVID was. So consequently, he had no choice but to quarantine, and he had to isolate and did not make his flight to Bali. I remember when that happened. What would you do? What would you do in a situation like that? A lot of people would have said, you know what, just hang tight and just wait until this whole COVID thing blows over, and then you guys can get together, and then when the borders are open, when the world has gotten back to normal, and we could, start our agency then. That would have been perfectly sound and valid information. But I decided to make a different choice. I chose to move forward, and I chose to trust. Now, I'm not saying to go out there and that every single person that you meet and want to do business with is trustworthy. In this particular instance, our choice did pay off. But this is the reason why I chose to trust. I learned this lesson, you guys, in my time in direct sales, from the industry, from how much fun I had when I was a member and I was doing network marketing on the field. I learned that business is a team sport. There is no such thing as a one-man or one-woman empire. It's better to share the wins, the losses, the challenges, and the struggles with a team. In order to have that team, you need people. In order to find people, you need to be able to build relationships, and you need to be able to trust people and surround yourself with fantastic people that you can trust and that share a common vision and goal as you. I am so blessed to this day that that was the case between David and I. So we proceeded with our partnership. The business did really well. We had awesome synergy, and we had deals lined up. We actually had about 5 really great deals lined up. However, it wasn't long until we encountered our second challenge. In about May, by about April, May of 2020, of the 5 sales that we had in the pipeline, 2 of them contracted COVID. 3 of them said that they did not know if they would have a company or a business to come back to. The rest of our sales prospects pretty much made comments along the same way, and our pipeline completely dried up. I remember that time, guys. That was one of the toughest times, one of my all-time lows in the business. See, David and I had been bootstrapping ourselves for the last 6 months. We'd been working about 14-hour days to try and get the business off the ground. I was drawing a humble wage, and David was still freelancing on the side because the business wasn't at that level where he could afford to support us. I was living in Bali. I had a couple months left of savings. I remember getting so stressed out. I got on the phone and I called my dad to tell him what happened. And he said to me, "Get on the next flight, come back home to Australia. It's not worth it. Nobody knows how long this pandemic is going to go on for." And that would have been sound advice. A lot of my friends and my expats actually left Bali. Most people fled. I remember that moment so clearly. I was so disheartened. I was lying on my couch. I was so upset. I did not know what to do. So I got down on my hands and knees and I started to pray. And I asked God, I get that we're in the middle of a global pandemic right now, but I can't go back to Australia. I can't do that. I can't in some ways admit defeat and just give up. I feel like I would be letting David down. He came into this business because he trusted my leadership and my ability and my agency experience in the last 12 years. So there's got to be another way. I get that we're in a global pandemic, but surely, God, there's got to be another way. Again, that choice paid off. I chose to have faith, and that was a blessing in disguise, because what actually happened was we had the idea to pivot our business. Instead of 3 verticals, we condensed that into 1. We came up with 1 core program, 1 core solution to help solve 1 problem, and that was helping businesses and influencers utilize LinkedIn to actually generate clients through building a personal brand, which is what I shared in the masterclass. Again, that choice paid off, and it didn't come from me. It came from powers beyond me, but I chose to have faith when I was so fearful and I was staring failure and literally a couple months left of pay to survive in an island that I would have been an expat. Because within 5 weeks of launching our new program, we made $171,000 in revenue. So guys, the business is going well by this stage. We had a business and we had clients, but now we wanted to expand. So we decided we need to market ourselves. We need to go and find a way to show up and capitalize on this, because now everyone's gone into lockdown. Everyone needs to rely on social media to connect. So let's market ourselves. There's an even greater need to become visible. So we found this company that we actually wanted to partner with to learn how to do video content. It wasn't something that I was at that time the most proficient in. However, this company that we wanted to work with was actually based in Florida, in Miami, and the boot camp that they were running would take place at 4 p.m. every afternoon. The problem with being 4 p.m. in Miami, Florida, is that it's 4 a.m. in Bali. Oh, now I remember that. Do I say it's too early and not actually partake in that? Do I give that off to David to do? But in this case, no, I couldn't give it off to David because he was doing the campaign management of our clients. It was early. I chose to change my story because I said to myself, you know what? If I can get up at 4 a.m. to scrub fecal matter off the toilet floor, I can get up at 4 a.m. to rock up on this boot camp that is going to change my business and help us achieve success. So I did. And guys, let me tell you, it was not pretty. I do not look like this at 4 a.m. in the morning. There's a lot of work that went into this. And I probably wouldn't even look as good as you guys do at 4 a.m. because I haven't had any Jeunesse products, but maybe if I do a really great job with this presentation, Chris Cooper might actually give me some Jeunesse products, so I will look as beautiful and youthful as you guys do. I literally would go to bed with the laptop by my bedside table. I would have my lipstick, and I would rock up in this boot camp in my pajamas with my Zoom filter set to high. Again, that was a choice that I made because I chose to show up no matter what, even when I would rather sleep in. That is a choice that actually paid off because 2 of those bootcamp members actually became our clients in the business. From the content that we actually learned from that bootcamp, I was able to help one of our clients go viral with his content organically, from having 400 views to over 54,000 views in just a matter of months. And from that, we were able to attract more clients into the business. So guys, by this stage, the business is going quite well. You know, we were attracting clients, but now that the bootcamp was over, I was the one that had to be positioned as the influencer. I had to leverage my personal brand to attract even more clients in the business. But I had a little bit of a problem. I actually am an introvert and I do not like being in front of the camera. Believe it or not. This is a picture of me when I had to shoot my first video. As you can see, I wasn't having that much fun. I wasn't very good at it. Within 2 months, I had 3 likes, and that was like 2 months of posting this content. We had literally spent thousands of money and months in terms of completing this content bootcamp, and my videos were not performing, and it wasn't doing the job that it was supposed to do. The reason why, guys, and this one is it's really personal to me. I didn't like being on camera. I wasn't confident. I felt that I didn't look pretty enough as a lot of those Instagram influencers. I didn't know enough just yet. I'm not as experienced as a lot of other entrepreneurs. I don't even have that many followers on my LinkedIn. As a matter of fact, truth be told, some of our clients actually have more followers than I had on my LinkedIn. Now, the reason why this was a problem is because, see, I was self-conscious about the way I looked. I felt fat. I felt overweight. I felt that my clothes were tight in all the wrong areas. I wanted to hide. I didn't want to show up. I didn't want to be seen. I didn't want to get on camera. And again, that was a problem. The reason why it was a problem for me is because, here's the thing. One of the things about being Asian, I think in our genes, is that we love and we're very good at doing 2 things. And that is, we know how to eat. Kid you not, I will tell you where the best food is in Bali if you come and visit me. Any city I'm in, I will hunt down where the best dishes are, and we know how to shop. The problem with being my height, 5'1", minus the stilettos, or about 150 centimeters, is that when I say, guys, like I like to eat, I mean like I like to eat, and I was good at it. So when you're my height and you like to eat, it did not take long until I got big. This is what I used to look like at the time. Now, I wanted to share this picture with you, and I thought that it was quite fitting to share this picture. This is at Bali Zoo because there's a baby elephant. I think it was a baby. There was a baby elephant behind me. When I looked at this picture, I felt like me and the elephant could literally have been twins. Now, there is nothing wrong with the men and women out there who are big, bold, and beautiful. But that wasn't me. When I looked in the mirror, I hated how I looked. I hated how I felt. And this was affecting my business. So something had to change. I had to choose to change. I had to choose to change the relationship that I had with food. And to this day, this is a picture of me, something that I had to let go of. I don't get to eat all the yummy Asian foods. You can imagine being in Jakarta right now. This is my hometown foods. Like when I walk down the pasar or the markets, that smells like my grandma's kitchen. But I can't eat all of those amazing foods that I want to, because I eat really clean now. I don't eat any sugar. I don't drink any alcohol or coffee or any junk or processed foods, because it affects my energy levels and it affects my ability to show up in my life for the people I care about and in my business. And I needed to make that choice to change. This is a picture of me and Pat Made, who comes to my place 2 to 3 times per week and helps me with kickboxing, because I had to choose to take care of my health and to take care of my body so I have the energy and the stamina to show up and to be physically available to those things in my life that are more important. Because of making that investment and choosing to change, choosing to let go of the things that did not serve me personally or in my business, I was able to show up and save that energy to show up in my business. So as you can see from the previous videos, this is a picture of me more confident on camera, able to do a better job of videos. That 90% of our leads and our new business comes from the content that I curate. Now, at this point here, guys, we were doing videos, we were doing content, we were doing branding, we were attracting clients. The business started to grow. Awesome times. However, wasn't long until we encountered another problem. See, with more clients, more people, more business, more money came more problems. And that's exactly what happened. We hit the edge of our growth curve. And when there's problems in the business, for me personally, I start to stress. When I stress, I don't sleep. So what would happen is that I would be getting up at 2 o'clock in the morning, freaking out. My mind would still be going crazy, and I would be messaging David and the team and finding out what's happening and sending orders to everybody. The problem with that is that I would get tired and fall back asleep at about 4 or 5 in the morning, and I would struggle to wake up again. So come 9 o'clock in the morning, and I would still in bed, and I would be messaging and trying to run the business from my cell phone, feeling exhausted and tired, like I had just been up clubbing. But trust me, I was not up clubbing at all. Now, the problem with this is that as I would go about and do my day, I would feel like I was busy, constantly busy and doing something. I was always on edge, but I wasn't productive. I didn't feel like I was in control of my life or of my business. I felt like it was in control of me. I'd be doing things on my phone, but I'd get to the end of the day and just not have time. I feel like I was just so short on time. I just would not have time to do all those things I knew I needed to do to grow as a person and to grow my business. I felt that I had time though still, because I had to change my story again. And at that time, I had time to do things on my phone. I would still check social media. I would still be checking messages. You know, I would have time to be on my phone and play Plants vs. Zombies, but I did not have time to do personal development. I would have time to get on Facebook and Instagram, but I wouldn't have time to invite people and to do my follow-ups. I would have time in my downtime to go on YouTube and watch cute cat and dog videos, but I wouldn't have time to do my personal growth or to focus on my faith or to center myself in my life. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're thinking, are you serious, Jess? In order to be successful, are you saying that we just need to cut all of that stuff out? Like we just can't do any of that stuff and we only need to focus on our business? No, that's not what I'm actually saying. what I'm actually saying to you guys is that you can fit those things in and be successful, but it depends on how you go about doing it. So I want to show you here a little demonstration. Now this was first done by Stephen Covey, and I want to take you to this object lesson that I've learned with a bit of a twist. Let me show you the lesson that I've learned in terms of time. If you take this jar here, imagine that this clear and empty jar is how much time you have in your day. This is your diary, this is your schedule, okay? Now with me, what I would do is I would constantly be on the phone. This red here represents Fanta, and this is all the light. It was fizzy and fluffy yesterday. This here would represent all the watery light stuff on the phone, Facebooking, Instagramming, playing Plants vs. Zombies, doing all that light stuff, watching videos. Then what would happen to me is I'd roll out of bed and I would have had breakfast, and now I'm going to get online. It would have been like 10, and I'm going to go and answer emails and messages. Now this sand here is a little bit more solid. This represents answering those messages, answering emails, Slack messages, Facebook messages, all those administrative duties that you got to do in your business. Then by about this time for me, it'd be kind of like time for lunchtime. I'd go and have lunch and I'd come back on. These pebbles here would represent the thicker things in the business. So for a lot of you guys, it's your 9 to 5. It's the work that you've got to do. For me in my business, it was a lot of the delivery. So responding to client, taking care of the client campaigns and client accounts. Now, what would happen is this would take up the bulk of my day. But then these big rocks here, which are still left behind, these represent the big ticket items in your life. So for me, health. These are one of the things that would suffer because I wouldn't have much time. Maybe I would get a couple of these things done. Then focusing on your business. But see, the thing is, this big rock here represents dreams, your hopes and dreams. You might have some time, but who's motivated to do that at 7 o'clock at night after they've just worked a full day at work? And then maybe this rock here represents family. Because when I was tired and busy and exhausted, relationships was the first thing to go. I would never have time to spend with my friends and loved ones. And for a lot of us, when we live like that, maybe we have like an hour or two to squeeze in with our family. Maybe some time to do a little bit of personal growth or to get connected with my faith. But it wasn't going to have the best of me. There are still always rocks remaining. So here's the thing, is it actually possible to fit everything in to your life and do it in a way where you are productive and effective and efficient? Yes, it is. But here's the thing, it depends on the order that you put them in, because no matter when you look at this, there's still big rocks remaining. For instance, your passions and the fun stuff that you like to do, your interests. And for me, when I don't make time to do that fun and creative stuff, just becomes a grumpy person to be around. As well as growth, personal growth and development. So let me take you to this jar over here. Let's try this again. Say, look what happens when you actually prioritize your big rocks first. Because guys, your big rocks, these are the big ticket items which are actually going to change and transform your life. Starting your morning with faith or grounding yourself. Scheduling in your calendar time to build your business, for your hopes and dreams, because that is what's going to change your life. Making that just as important in your diary as an appointment with a key client. Time for your health, for your wellness, because you only have one body and one place to live. Scheduling time to have fun for your passions as well and your creativity and those interests. Now, a lot of you guys still have to work. You still have to work your 9 to 5 in order to survive and whilst you're building a business on the side. So that's going to take the bulk of your time. So we'll put that in second. Now, we still need to answer messages. We still need to do all that administrative stuff in our business. So we schedule that in second. Sometimes you've got to move some of the meetings around, so we're going to give our diary a little bit of a shake. But if you look what happens, I have so much space left. That's when you got time to do all the rest of that light and fluffy stuff. And then you can go online, watch YouTube, and watch cat videos and play Plants vs. Zombies if you want to. That is how you fit everything in, guys, because at the end of the day, we might not all have equal opportunity. We might not all have equal talent, but we have one thing that is equal, and that is 24 hours in a day and 7 days a week. So make the choice, guys. Choose to manage your time. Because you need to be able to prioritize your big rocks first. You will always have time for the things that you focus on and that you put first in your life. If you don't make a conscious choice to actually put those things first, then your time will get the better of you and those things will be chosen for you. Remember, it is those big rocks, those big ticket items. Those things are going to transform your life, transform your business. But it is only possible if you consciously choose to manage your time. Prioritize your big rocks first. Put those things first. Don't let other people dictate and choose what happens with your time. So by this stage, guys, this is a picture of David and I. Don't let this picture fool you in terms of the post-production, because to this day, David and I still actually have not met. We still run the business the way we are, from David building it from his bedroom in Vancouver, me in my office in Bali. Thanks to a trusty MacBook, as well as some somewhat decent Wi-Fi in Bali, except during rainy season, as well as our team. I would even go so far as to say that COVID and this pandemic was a blessing in disguise. Because I chose to trust, because I chose to have faith, because I chose to manage my time, we were able to run a global team. This is a picture of some of our team members. We have 17 team members now. We work across 10 different time zones. Most of us actually are in different countries and obviously still have not met each other. That would not have been possible had it not have been for those choices. You have the power and the ability to choose. This here is a picture of my life now, some of my favorite pictures in Bali. Because I chose to have that faith and because I chose to show up, I could have easily gone back to Australia, but I chose to stay. Had I not have stayed, I would not have the beautiful life that I'm so grateful to have, living in Bali, building my business and empire in beautiful Bali. This here is a picture of my family. This is obviously pre-COVID. They too love the fact that I live in Bali. They've actually come and visited me in Bali more times in like 2 years of me being in Bali than 12 years of when I was living in Sydney and they're in Brisbane, and Sydney to Brisbane is literally only like a 2-hour flight away. So I want to leave you with a thought. Psychology Today published an article that said we make, on average, 35,000 choices a day. Let me repeat that for you. 35,000 mini choices a day, right? Now, what if just one choice could change your life? What if just one choice could change the course of your future as you know it? I know what you're thinking, but Jess, how would I know what that choice is? How would I know when to make that choice? What if I said to you, you didn't have to know any of those things? Because here's a thought. What if today, right now, in this very moment, you being at this event, me speaking to you directly, you can change your life in an instant. So remember what I said. It's a choice that I made that 15 years ago. You too can make that choice. What if you chose to be humble in each and everything that you do, each and every day, even when it's really hard and it's not your job? What if you chose to trust even when you can't see the road ahead and you don't know what to do? What if you chose to get grounded and connected and to have faith each and every day, even when you are staring fear and failure directly in the face? What if you chose to show up even when you have Zoom fatigue, even when you have been on 8 hours of Zoom calls and you are so over looking at a computer screen? What if you chose to show up no matter what, even when you'd rather sleep in? What would that do to your life? What would that do to your business? What if you chose to change? Boom, just like that, no matter what, because having that relationship with that thing in your life is costing you something in your business or costing you your dreams. What if you chose to just change in an instant, no matter what? Even when it's not convenient, even when it's not comfortable, even when you so don't want to do it, but you just choose to change. You have that choice and the power to do that. What if you chose to manage your time each and every day? Own it. Take control. It's your time and it's your life. Don't let anyone else or anything else choose to manage your time for you. You choose to manage your time and to put first the things that are important to you personally and professionally. What if you chose to make those sacrifices? Because here's the thing, guys, at the end of the day, seriously, there is nothing special about me. I'm literally just a girl. I was born poor in a little village, in a remote village in Garut. When I was young, I used to scrub and clean toilets. If I can make my life and my dreams come true, literally, so can you. There is nothing special about me. Remember this, at the end of the day, it's your right and you have the ability and the power to choose. Because I want to say to you that if no one has said this to you today, I see you, I get your struggles. I was you. I'm proud of you. I believe in you. I believe that Jeunesse is an amazing opportunity. And you would not be here today with me if you did not believe in the same thing. Remember, you have one life. So make sure you choose powerfully because you deserve it and you are worth it.
Jess, you nailed it, and I'm busy writing.
Hey,
The questions are coming in, so thank you. Look, as we know, it's almost an impossible task to ask you to do all of your training in a 1 hour time slot, but thank you. We've got the masterclass you did a couple of days ago, and that will be available for previewing after this show. And this one also, it's not something you have to listen to, it's something you have to study. I think you need to watch this a few times to really get all the key points. But entreat me for a few minutes. I'm going to hit you with a few questions that have come through from our audience, and this is on the spot. First one is from Liz. Liz asks, by prioritizing big rocks first, does it mean doing them first in the day?
Liz, that is such an awesome question. It doesn't mean doing those things first in the day, but some of those things. So for me, I don't touch my phone until I've been grounded in my faith and I've done something towards my health. I'm a morning person, so I do meditate, and I'm most productive in my business. So I choose to get up super early. I actually get up at 4 a.m. these days, and I go to sleep earlier. But it means putting in your diary and your schedule those big rocks first. So for instance, you might not have a choice when you can work on your business if you have to work certain hours or do shift work. But you put that time that you have dedicated in your diary, you lock that into your business as though it was just as important as going to work or just as important as a sales meeting.
Thank you. Okay, another one. I don't know who this one came from, but what is your preferred social media platform for MLM recruitment?
Right. My preferred social media platform, and I don't know if I can say this is for MLM recruitment, but just my preferred social media platform for my business is definitely LinkedIn. But I know there are a lot of members out there in MLM who do really well on Instagram and Facebook. I personally love LinkedIn because of the things I shared in my masterclass. I think that it's also a great recruitment tool for professional network marketers because of the Sales Navigator search function and your ability to search exact prospects and profiles and then message them. But on that note, I have seen some teams and some people that actually utilize and do direct messaging of Facebook really well. I'm just more experienced in LinkedIn, and as from the masterclass, so my personal favorite is obviously LinkedIn.
Well, good. So I want to give a plug to the masterclass because what you described then is what you trained on 2 days ago. So again, for all the audiences, Jess's masterclass and this session will be available for repeat at the end of all of this. Same platform, you can click on it and watch it again and again. So that's going to segue to my next question. This is from Sawandi Chow. Sawandi asks, Jess, how can we sort the right prospects from LinkedIn?
What's up, Sawandi? Awesome question. Watch my masterclass. So that's the first and easiest way I will answer that one. But let me give you a couple of highlights. So number one, before you want to go and launch and go and find prospects, make sure your shop, right, or your front of shop or your profile is looking ace. So you've optimized it. So you can get some awesome free tips online in YouTube on how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. I do share on that stuff a little bit in the masterclass, but I really focus on how to prospect and recruit. You don't want to do that stuff yet until you've optimized your profile, you're clear on your personal branding, and you have an idea of what we call your client avatar or the kind of prospects that you want to attract in your business. You don't just want to go for everyone. You want to find people that are going to be in alignment with your personal brand, and then in the masterclass, I talk about the Sales Navigator search feature. That's when you can curate a prospect list to go and sort through and find potential ideal prospects. Then after that, in the end of the masterclass, I go through some messaging and scripting of how you engage and connect with them on LinkedIn. And then most importantly, take them offline, because that is when you guys talk about business and the recruitment happens, when you segue that relationship. Because remember, LinkedIn is just a social media platform, so you still got to be social. Business takes place offline, or on Zooms, which is what I mean by offline.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, LinkedIn is trending. My phone is now running hot. People are sending questions straight to my phone. So I've got 2 more on LinkedIn, then I'll jump off that topic. But someone asked, if we still have a full-time job as an employee of another company, and we've been using LinkedIn as that company's employee and gain connections, how do we then promote Jeunesse instead on LinkedIn?
Fantastic. That is such a great question. I'm so glad you guys asked that. We get that a lot with our clients. Sometimes our clients might be a consultant and they're also an employee in this other organization. So the beauty about LinkedIn is it's not like Instagram or Facebook, because you guys only have like about 150 characters in the headline and you have about 2,000 characters in your summary. You want to put both of the experiences in the experience section. So the company that you work for, as well as how you want to position yourself in your Jeunesse business. You want to be able to curate your about section of what you do. If you can find some parallel around your personal brand. So in the masterclass, I talk about sort of how you see yourself, how others see you, and your personal brand in the middle. And what I mean by that is that your profile, so say I'm speaking to 2 Jeunesse members, your profile should not sound exactly the same. It should be a little bit different because of your personal brand. So for example, say that you've got a full-time job and you're a personal trainer and you're also doing Jeunesse. The reason why you might love Jeunesse products and the Jeunesse opportunity should read a little bit differently to someone who is perhaps a baby boomer and working in the IT sector and also promoting their Jeunesse business. So that should come out in terms of how you write your copy. To get my tips on how to write the copy in the About section, there are 5 points that I go through in the masterclass. And I also send you guys an invitation to actually connect with me, and I'm happy to read your profiles and give you guys some feedback, but only if you follow my instructions in the masterclass on how to connect.
Okay, on the same topic, this is a good one. This one comes from Michelle. So Jess, do you recommend to create ads on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn to generate leads for our business? I guess that's paid advertising. Do you recommend that?
What's up, Michelle? Thanks so much for your question. On LinkedIn, absolutely not. That's the quick and easy way. You guys have the power to leverage an amazing opportunity with LinkedIn. LinkedIn is like where Facebook and Instagram used to be about 13 years ago. We are able to help our clients go viral with just 100% organic traffic. LinkedIn ads is more used for corporate. You don't need to, is I guess what I'm trying to say. In terms of Facebook and Instagram, what I would suggest is utilize one platform. So even for me, I am a full-time marketer. This is my career. This is what our agency does. I'm actually not even active on Facebook, and my Instagram is a little bit sad. But LinkedIn, I have decided to focus my energy on that, because what can happen is when you try and be across too many platforms, and I get that having an omni-channel approach is important. When you're first starting up, remember, you guys are busy. You got a lot going on. You just want to nail, in my personal opinion and in my experience, you want to nail one platform first. Get good at that. Get good at leveraging your personal brand, and then know how to take that on the platform, know how to find your audience, and most importantly, guys, in the masterclass, it's know how to take that audience from that platform offline to do business. Once you've got that working well with one platform, that's when I would look to add on other platforms, because the way you do content and engage your audience is different to each platform. For instance, you can't do the same content on Instagram and Facebook is not going to trend and get the same amount of engagement on LinkedIn. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay. Jess, let's squeeze in 2 more questions. My clock is ticking down. I'm going to get this one from Johnny. Johnny wants your top tips to shift your mindset from an employee to a Janess business owner. Shifting your
Johnny.
mindset from employee to business owner.
Absolutely. So there is one book that changed my life, and I hope I'm allowed to share that. I actually was in corporate before I started my business. This book single-handedly validated me, and really, because it was kind of opposite. The things that made me good as an employee hindered me as an entrepreneur, and vice versa. So you guys probably would have heard of Robert Kiyosaki, the #1 business-selling author. You might know him from the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, but that's not the book. The book is Before You Quit Your Job. I'm going to repeat that again. Before You Quit Your Job by Robert Kiyosaki. Read that book, hands down. That book single-handedly validated me and changed and shifted my mindset from being an employee to being an empowered entrepreneur. So message me on LinkedIn, Johnny. Let me know how you like that book.
Okay, we're going to jump to my last one. And from Hong Kong, S. Shu from Hong Kong, they ask, Jess, your best tip for dealing with negative reactions and comments on social media, and then there's inverted commas, haters. Do you have any haters on social media? I doubt it.
Absolutely. I do, believe it or not.
You
yeah.
do?
Hey, Ashu, what's up in Hong Kong? Yeah, absolutely. My #1 tip is kill them with kindness. Just shower them with love. And the best thing, if you can take a hater and turn that hater into a lover online, you know that you've rocked, and you know that you have nailed your personal branding game online. And it will happen. Seriously, guys, no matter how PC and as nice as you want to be. But remember, you never want to drop to their level, and you never want to throw any hate back. So kill them with kindness, be super understanding, be super loving. I actually go out of my way and I actually engage them back and actually send their content and their posts some love, and I address their concern. Because here's the thing, even if I put up a comment or a post and someone gives their opinion, that actually still helps me. And then other people will see it, and then oftentimes other people will come in to fight that battle for you. Be like, oh my God, I can't believe that person said that or did that. But if it's creating conversation and that person wants to express their opinion, I'm still getting engagement. And remember, when you watch my masterclass, it's not just about looking good online. I want to teach you guys to leverage your personal brand to monetize it for your business. That engagement and that reach helps. So obviously see what's trending. If you're getting repeated messages around the content not being on point or stuff isn't trending as well. Real quick, I put up a piece of content that was a little bit non-PC, not politically correct, and I actually had someone message me politely. So I had to edit it and change my headline because, you know, and that was something I actually viewed as, okay, testing content. But if someone's just being a straight out hater, kill them with kindness.
And we can let that be your closing catchphrase. We need to finish here, Jess. Kill them with kindness. Jess Hartono, keynote speaker for Asia Pacific Africa Expo. We thank you so much. You have given us so much good content. And like I said, these are sessions that need to be watched again and again. So coming up after the whole show, click on the link, see Jess's masterclass, see this keynote speaker session, watch it again. Jess, I hope we can bring you back another year. But for now, we thank you so much. Thank you, Jess. We bid you farewell.
Thanks
and we
so
welcome
much,
back
Chris.
Kevin,
Thanks so
our
much,
MC.
Vanessa. Mwah.
Terima kasih.